Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Tuesday night, Luke Live Online. I'm Father James DiLuzio with you on Wednesday afternoon because, you know, today's pericope is Luke chapter 22, verses 54 through 65. It occurs immediately after Jesus' arrest in the Garden of Gethsemane. After they had arrested him, they led him away and took him to the house of the high priest, Peter following at a distance. They lit a fire in the courtyard and sat around it, and Peter sat down with them. When a maid saw him sitting in the light, she looked at him intently and said, "This man too was with him." But he denied it, saying, "Woman, I do not know him." A short while later, someone else saw him and said, "You too are one of them." But Peter answered, "My friend, I am not." About an hour later, someone else insisted, "Assuredly, this man too was with him, for he also is a Galilean." And he answered, "My friend, I do not know what you are talking about." Just as he was saying this, a cock crowed, and the Lord turned and looked at Peter. And he remembered the word of the Lord, how he had said to him, "Before the cock crows this day, you will deny me 3 times." He went out and wept bitterly. The men who held Jesus in custody were ridiculing and beating him. They blindfolded him, saying, "Prophesy, who is it that struck you?" They reviled him and were saying many other things against him. So, what can we learn about Peter's denial and the soldiers holding Jesus in custody? Who are we this time? Are we Peter, recognizing those times when we don't speak up against injustice, when we give in to fear and remain silent? Are we Jesus, who looks intently at those who have hurt us? Are we the men who give in to anger and just get caught up in ridiculing and abusing someone for the way it makes us feel better and superior? There's a time in our lives where we may be very vulnerable to playing any of these particular roles. And again, as in all things, God permits these things to happen to Jesus so we can relate to Jesus and to the difficulties of life, and also to find identification, to understand ourselves, because again, sometimes in our life we may have been all of these, which brings us back to our common theme that we began with almost at the beginning of Luke Live Online, that everything about the life of Jesus by God's design was meant to tell us about our own lives. For those who believe, Jesus is with us and he is one with us and we are one with him. We are a continuation of the story, and hopefully continue to ponder as Mary did from the beginning, and not only to ponder but to grow in wisdom and to use the wisdom of the scripture in our choices and in our decisions for our daily lives. When I perform Luke Live, I often stop and use the song Angel by Sarah McLachlan. I'm not going to sing it for you now, but you might wish to look it up. You can play it for free on YouTube, Angel by Sarah McLachlan. The situation seems to apply to Peter. In this sense, he's addicted to fear, and also he flees. He goes out, he runs out, and began to weep bitterly. That wanting to run away from problems to escape, that's a real theme in Sarah McLachlan's Angel. So thank you so much for joining me today. Join me Friday. I think I will be on time with Friday Young at Heart. Have a wonderful week, everyone, and God bless.